will it. He will.
It's the Skinny on Sports Podcast with Aaron Cowk.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cowk with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Wednesday morning out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the hour. Man, it's going to be a cool day today, Jared. Do you know what today is?
The SEC schedule release.
Wrong.
thing,
It's Flag Day.
Well, I knew that.
Okay, no, it is SEC schedule release day. It's both, actually.
It is Flag Day. You're
I just
right.
saw a.
I feel bad. I was driving in, saw all the flags, thought, oh,
Flag Day.
Forgot to fly my flag.
June 14th, Flag Day. I just saw this with regards to the SEC schedule release. Peter Burns, ESPN, he's kind of tied in with the SEC network there as well. Each of the 14 current members will play either Texas or Oklahoma in that first year.
Right.
So that's going to happen. So everybody will see one or the other in the first year. It's going to be 8-game conference schedule. When you start reading into it, there really is a pretty big advantage when it comes to who wins the national title. Could that just be because the SEC is in an 8-game schedule, or does that actually benefit them more than you realize over the long, grueling season? So I think when you look at 9-game conference schedules, it's only been Clemson and Florida State over the past 18 years, I believe, that have won the title. Everything else has been 8-gamers, and a big part of that is SEC. So how long is it going to stay 8? Will it go to 9? Who do you think will be Oklahoma and Texas's first SEC game? Where? Who? We'll talk about that. Coming up at 9:30, we're going to have our man Leland Searcy with Officials versus Cancer, their golf tournament coming up Friday.
Yes.
I unfortunately was going to play with our man Jeremy Gray. I can't due to the house situation.
Oh, man.
But he's going to come on and talk about what they got going on at John Conrad coming up Friday. And then right off the top, we'll do our U.S. Open preview. Golf tournament starts tomorrow out at L.A. Country Club. Fascinating because it's like one of those places that's kind of shrouded in mystery because you've never seen it. It hasn't hosted a tour event since the 1940 L.A. Open. It held the 2017 Walker Cup and the 2013 Pac-12, which, those are not necessarily marquee events as far as the televised golf world. So this is going to be cool to see. I can't wait. We'll break down the U.S. Open right here off the top. Cool. Make our picks, top 3 in order, and also a dark horse outside the top 25 in the official World Golf Rankings. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. Talking about any of those things, you got something else on your mind, feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're outside the listening area, catch us online, kadsam.com. You can download the app. It's free. It's got everything. 3 radio stations. It's got the Penny News, brand new edition of that Penny News. Hits the website tonight at midnight. That's last night, thepennynews.com. Also, Big Elk and Paragon TV in there, and of course the Skinny on Sports podcast. You can find where any podcast drops, basically all across that all across the internet. Hi, Jared.
What's up? How are you? I got bad news.
What is it?
I mean, I did not have a good night.
What's wrong?
Started mowing.
Mm-hmm.
Started raining.
Really?
Right, and I'm thinking, first start off little sprinkles. Like, no big deal. I've done this before. I can just blow on through it. No big deal. And then it just, a deluge just started pouring on me. I had to quickly get the mower into the garage.
Huh.
And I look at my phone, thinking, okay, there has to be, I missed something. I saw the clouds, but I saw the rain chances weren't till later in the evening. Like, what did I miss? I looked at my radar, and it's one little green and yellow storm situated right over the small community of Canute.
Let's say that was interesting because it never even rained here.
Yeah.
Really.
Well,
I mean,
right there. And, you know, it loops it, you know. It just formed
came up.
right there.
Huh.
Once it was done, it was too late. It was already dusk, and it was just too wet. So half my lawn is mowed. It looks ridiculous. So dumb. Can't do it tonight. I got practice with the girls. I got Rotary auction tomorrow and Friday. So maybe Saturday, and then I'm just going to have to start all over again because it's going to grow by then.
So you've got like a secondary cut of rough and an intermediate
much.
cut of rough right now in your yard.
And it is rough, let me tell you. Yeah, I'm ashamed.
Dakota's going to drive by and take pictures and share them with
Why
everybody.
don't you just get on my mower and take care of it? If you got time to go by my house and take pictures, why don't you just stop and mow it for me? I'll leave the door unlocked or the barn unlocked. You can mow it for me. Yeah, anyways. But, and look out for my wife. She's at it again. You know, I'm back in my car, back in my truck.
I noticed the truck was
I'm back
here.
in my truck. She got her car back, got all the hail damage fixed, and immediately, first day she gets it back, she hits a rabbit on the way to drop off the girls this morning. She said, "Don't tell the kid that I traumatized earlier." I said, "Well, what about our kids?" She goes, "They didn't notice, and I didn't say anything." Oh, man. Then I forgot it's Flag Day. I mean, I've just been piling it on today.
Wascally rabbit?
Yeah, she said, they just dart out of nowhere. It's like, maybe take the foot off the gas and slow down.
Yeah, that deal to the left is the brake. there's
rabbit.
more than one pedal on that car.
Oh, man. The animals are just getting bigger. First a squirrel, then a rabbit. What's next?
Uh-oh, I'm not saying. Not saying.
She's hit a turkey before. Kind of flew over her, and it didn't clear the car, and it hit the top of her car.
Well, you're not. The good news is don't swerve for birds.
She does not swerve.
Doesn't swerve for anything.
She doesn't swerve for anything, apparently.
Whatever you do, don't get in front of her, Jared.
My
Might
goodness.
be the end.
My goodness. I see her come around the corner. If I'm outside, I grab the dog. Come here.
Oh, dear. Well,
Anywho.
it's going to be a long night at your house if she hears this.
Nah, it's fine. She's used to it.
Evening, we played golf. Didn't play very good
Yeah?
in the scramble, but there wasn't a winner, so that's good news. Carry over for next week. Some people played good, just was not me. Had fun, though.
Another beautiful night.
Oh,
If you weren't getting rained on, we had a booster meeting. We had it outside underneath our porch. It was so nice. Had to deal with the mosquitoes, though.
Yeah, they're going to be as big as.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Speaking of turkeys,
Yeah, they're going to be big. But man,
just amazing how little. And I know I shouldn't say this, but how little wind there's been.
Yeah.
Golly, I don't remember this stretch of days. I mean, it's been almost a month straight where the wind has been very, very, very light.
Below average temperatures.
Yeah.
Above average rain. I like it. I'm not complaining by any means. Now, I think next week, though, they're calling for some warmer temps.
Oh, you just think your grass is growing right now. Wait till it's 90 with all the moisture that's
yeah.
going around.
And when it gets warmer, we're not going to have that dry heat either. It's going to be that muggy heat, I'm afraid.
Yep, for next week.
Yeah.
You know what next week is?
Next week is the golf tournament.
That's correct.
The KUCO Open. That's right. Do
Friday.
we still have openings for the for the
championship? Come
Okay.
on down. KECOFM.com. Still can get in there. Dinner on Friday night, about 8 o'clock after the horse race. It's going to be up near the new clubhouse, just to the south of it. So, the parking lot's north. There's in between the clubhouse and like number 10T. There's a bunch of area there.
Right there?
Yeah, with turnarounds for carts and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the dinner's going to be. It's going to be a good time. Good times will be had by all. Poppy's is going to be the caterer again. That food was
great
awesome last year.
Man,
Before the rain hit.
Yeah, speaking of rain, it doesn't rain all summer except that one time.
Yeah, that was literally maybe the only time it rained all summer was that Friday night. But next Friday.
Have you checked the forecast?
I haven't looked that far in advance.
The extended forecast? I'm going to have to check that out.
All I saw was hot.
Yeah, they're calling
starting
for some
tomorrow.
heat.
Starting tomorrow in the 90s, near 100 by Monday. All right, U.S. Open coming up. Speaking of tomorrow, the U.S. Open will tee off out at L.A. Country Club. Man, I am excited about seeing this golf course. It is one of the most exclusive kind of mystery shrouded places because it is so exclusive. As I mentioned, 1940, the last time the tour had an event there, the LA Open. It hosted the Walker Cup in 2017, 2013 Pac-12s, which that day the course record was set during that 2013 Pac-12 tournament. Do you know who set it? A participant in the field.
Oh, really? Who?
Max Homa.
Oh.
It was his first collegiate win as a senior, and then he'd go on to win the
I might change my picks.
go on to win
bit.
the national champion, the individual, a couple weeks later. Yeah, Red Knights will be cooking burgers out there at the golf tournament as well.
At the Open, cool.
It's one of the cool things that that tournament does is to be able to give some back to the Dream League and the Red Knights through that. It's that's pretty awesome. Anyhow, and so I can't wait to see it. Here it's an interesting place, just like looking at pictures and hearing comments from the players. So 5 par 3s, 10 par 4s, and 3 par 5s. 5 par 3s. The 7th and the 11th can play near 300 yards, par 3s. So we're talking about 3-wood into par 3s.
That's a par 3, yeah. That's
but
a
then
big par 3.
the 15th can play as little as 78 yards. So just flip wedge. Number 6 is going to be a hole that is talked about. It is awesome. There's so many different choices on. You can kind of lay up, but everything is like this giant mound, and then the green is pretty narrow, and there's trouble all around it. So you just bomb it down there by the green and hope you get lucky with a lie and try a wedge shot. I mean, it's cool. It's going to be one of those holes that you're going to remember. Like, man, that hole was cool. What would I have done? When you see it. And then, different than almost every West Coast golf course, the rough is actually Bermuda.
Oh, wow.
Which here, if you play golf, you know when the Bermuda rough gets tall, the ball just goes straight down.
Yep.
You know, and it's almost like a bird's nest kind of effect sometimes. Well, out there, it's not as hot, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's more. It's not as uniformly growing in. It's kind of sparse. So I think there's going to be chances to get lucky and unlucky, and that might play a huge factor. You know, hit one off the tee, you might have a chance. It'd be kind of thin, and it might not. So that's something that we don't see very often in the U.S. Opens. A lot of times you hit it in the rough and you can't see it.
Yeah.
No matter, unless you hit it where people are staying, like hit it so offline,
right? But yeah,
you're out in the gallery. But here, I think it's going to give you options, and that can be good or bad. So that's the course itself is going to be so interesting. I can't wait to see it. I mentioned the other day, right above the 13th green to the 14th tee box, the Playboy Mansion. You can actually hear the monkeys that are still there.
Is it still a thing?
It's not a thing. It's not like what you think of as the Playboy Mansion and the grotto and all that. No. But it's still there. I think just kind of the animals are still there. And I mentioned there's stories of monkeys biting people on the 14th tee. They get over there looking too close. Anyhow, so that's kind of.
The monkeys just roam free around there?
I think so. I just got them kind of. I mean, there's. Anyway, they're there. Storylines.
Wait. The monkeys just roam free
around
the 14th tee box.
That's where they've got nets or whatever where they can't get out, or cages.
So
or
what?
whatever.
People are going and putting their fingers in there.
They
to
might,
pet the monkeys,
just messing with the monkeys,
and
and bam, you get bit. It's just that this is the stories that you hear reading about this golf course.
No bunnies, just monkeys.
Bunnies are gone.
The bunny. Oh, that's a shame.
The bunnies, and this joke was made on the text line earlier this week when we talked about this. The bunnies and the cougars are gone. The monkeys remain.
The grotto there. Can you just get in, take a quick dip if you're too hot, get in the pool?
Probably.
I want to know the history. I don't know if the Playboy Mansion is a thing anymore. If it's just a residence now.
I think it's I don't
mean,
even know if it's a residence. I think it might just be there.
Is it like a museum or a tourist attraction? Can you get tours of it?
I don't think so. I think it's just there, man.
Is it for sale? Very curious.
We're talking about the U.S. Open, not
Well,
the damn Playboy
on the
Mansion.
rundown here, it's like, am I excited to see LA Country Club? Not maybe for not the same reasons you're excited, like you just mentioned. I'm just curious about the Playboy Mansion.
Let's see, Jared.
What is the current affairs of the Playboy Mansion? What does it look like?
Opens at 9 a.m. So maybe
Maybe it is a thing you can just go visit.
It sold in 2016.
I remember that he was still alive when it sold. I remember that made headlines. And I wonder who bought it. Anyways. You're getting all
It's
the
under the
history?
Permanent Protection Covenant after the sale. Metropolis bought the mansion.
Metropolis. What is that?
Some kind of
Some kind of real estate company?
C. Dean Metropolis and Company. Intends to renovate and restore the mansion to its original form. Darren Metropolis, the owner of the Playboy Mansion, entered into an agreement with the city of Los Angeles, permanently protects the mansion from demolition. Permanent Protection Covenant.
I mean,
And it's binding to anybody that owns it in the future. So I think basically what he did, this guy, they bought it, they made this agreement with the city of Los Angeles, and now they're going to restore it.
okay. I mean, it is.
And
like
I would assume
it's
restore it for maybe like a museum type
Yeah, it
purposes.
is a national treasure.
Yeah.
It should be labeled as a historical building, right?
Darren Metropolis,
Cool name, by the way.
co-owner of Hostess.
Like the snack cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
So there you go. That's what's going on there.
Okay.
Phil. What about Phil? Second in the Masters. Turns 53 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Open is the only major he has not won. 6 runners-up. He would be the 6th guy to complete the career Grand Slam. How possible is it that Phil could kind of recreate that Masters magic?
Very hard for me to see. It'd be a heck of a story considering what's in the headlines now in golf with the merger and everything. But Phil's considering what the field is in his age, he'd have to have a heck of a start, I think, like the first 2 days to put himself in a good position on Saturday and Sunday. But I just don't see it. I hate to describe people like this because I'm almost 40, but he's just too dang old to stay up with these younger guys. It'd be a heck of a story. Believe me, I'd hitch my wagon to it and hope it happens, but I just don't see it happening.
It does feel like with everything going on with the LIV and the PGA, the fact that it's in LA near Hollywood, all of that, like the story is setting up, right? And Phil's always been kind of one of those guys when the story's set up, he thrives.
Yeah.
The course will play a little bit like Augusta in ways with the imagination around the greens, the way it's kind of – I'm not ruling it out. Now, he's like 250 to 1 on the odds.
Right.
But I wouldn't be shocked if he's not at least kind of hanging around. Hey, do you remember who won last year?
Yeah.
Who?
Fitzpatrick.
You are correct.
Maybe.
Matthew Fitzpatrick.
I may have prepped for this show, Aaron.
Way to go, Jared. So he won the year before John Rahm won. So that means 2 straight years that an American did not win the U.S. Open. I'm gonna give you a chance to guess something here. I looked this up. I saw this today in a story. Since 1910, so 113 years. How many times do you think there's been a 3-year drought of American winners of the U.S. Open?
How many times?
Yeah, how many times has an American not been a winner?
3 years in a row.
That's right.
Let's say 3.
How about 1?
One time. I knew it wasn't very much.
2004 through 2007, when you had Retief win at Shinnecock, Michael Campbell won at Pinehurst, Ogilvy won at Wingfoot, and Angel Cabrera won at Oakmont. That's the only time that the U.S. Open has had a 3-year drought of a 3-year drought of an American winner. This could be the second time if somebody outside the U.S. of A. were able to win the crown. Does that influence your pick any?
No.
Well, I didn't realize it influenced mine, but apparently it has.
No.
Give me some names. Maybe not who you're going to pick, but give me some names.
You mentioned
like.
Homa. I didn't realize that, and he was actually on the tip of my fingers when I wrote down my picks. I really like that guy. I didn't realize he's had a lot of success there. Hovland. He always plays well, but can he? He's kind of like the Denver Nuggets in majors, just can't break through. But they were like that. But obviously Denver just broke through. Can Hovland do that? So a couple guys right there I'd look at, and maybe Fleetwood, Tommy Fleetwood too. How about you?
Man, I would if he would not have withdrawn a couple of weeks ago, I would pick Collin Morikawa to win this thing. He played on the 2017 Walker Cup team. He was 4-0 on this golf course in those matches. It's going to be kind of a mixture. You're gonna see a lot of long iron / woods hit into a few holes. He seems like the guy. He just seems like a guy that hits those shots great. I mean, you think about him driving the green at Harding to win the PGA. It feels like his long game is fantastic. But with the back spasms and having to withdraw a couple weeks ago, that makes me nervous. And nervous enough not to pick him. I wrote down Hovland as well, kind of outside. And then another guy, a Californian outside that is still looking for his first, and this would be a good spot to get it is Xander Schauffele, California guy. It's just different playing golf out there than in other places, and it seems like the Californians they get it. So those are kind of some guys that I wrote down that I'm not going to pick. Betting favorites, Scheffler's the favorite at 6-1, Rahm and Brooks Koepka at 9-1, Victor and Rory at 12-1.
By the way, I didn't know this when
you did.
I did not look up betting favorites.
Cantlay, that's another guy people like because he's a California dude. 16-1. X is 18-1. Spieth and Homa 22-1. Cam Smith 25-1. Hatton at 28-1. DJ, Tony Finau, defending champion, and Collin Morikawa 35-1. All right, give me your top three in order.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. What do you want?
3, 2, 1.
Okay, I went with Scotty Scheffler there at
Third.
number 3.
Okay.
I almost put Hovland there, but for the reasons I just mentioned, I got to see him break through before I start putting him in my top 3. Koepka 2 and Jon Rahm 1. Just for the fact they've had a lot of success in playing a high-level brand of golf right now. My dark horse is Ricky Fowler.
Oh, no way. It's mine too.
Really. California kid, he's playing really good too. He's trying to get back into that top 25 conversation. Maybe a good showing here can get him closer to that, but what is he ranked? Like in the 30s or 40s?
I think he was like 50.
Something lower?
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of other people pick him as a dark horse or long shot or whatever you want to call it, but I could see him having a good day over there in LA.
Yeah,
or
Ricky,
a good round or two.
Ricky top 20 in 11 of his 13 events this year. California kid. He feels. I can't remember what the stat was, but guys that have done what he's done, he's like the only guy in the history of golf not to win a major, and had the success. Then have success like he's had. It's just such an anomaly that he hasn't. I mean, he's my dark horse as well. He's trending the right way. California, all that kind of stuff. I almost wrote down Hovland was my last one out of the top 3 as well.
I guess that's where
I
kind of what I had him as too. Yeah,
I went with Jordan Spieth at third. This course is going to play a little bit like Augusta, and Jordan Spieth is great at Augusta. The imagination, all the shots, and he's tied 6 or better in half of his last in half of his last 12, he's tied 6 or better. So he's been around it. I don't know how you can leave Brooks Koepka out.
I couldn't.
I don't even have anything written down beside him other than just Brooks. And I went with Scheffler 1. If you look at the stats, he is dominating. First in scoring, first in strokes gained, first in strokes gained approach, first in greens and regulation. What was it a couple of weeks ago? Was it at Colonial where he strokes gained tee to green? He beat everybody by like 11. But his putting has been an issue, obviously, because if he was putting just middle of the field good, he would have knocked a couple more tournaments down. I mean, there's a couple of them, starting with Augusta, where he led the field in ball striking and was last in putting. I do know that he was fiddled with making a putter change. I think he's going to do that, see if that can kind of – but he just hits it so good and just has hit it so much better than everybody else. It's hard for me not to pick Scottie Scheffler because eventually you feel like he's going to make a few, and when he does, he may just dominate. It just blow everybody away with the way he's hitting it. So I've got Scheffler. Interesting, I didn't even think about 3 guys that are normally kind of picks for me in these situations. I never even considered Rahm, which is probably stupid.
Any reason why?
He burnt me on the Masters. I never even thought about Rory.
Well, there's no shame in that.
Well, he's been around, though. I mean, that's the whole thing. He's played pretty well except for those final rounds. And I actually never even considered JT, and he's always a guy that I think about.
Yeah,
with him, but I didn't. I just kind of had Scheffler and Brooks, and then as I learned a little bit about the course, Spieth kind of came in. And like I said, if Morikawa wouldn't have had the back spasms, that just concerns me. And maybe he's fine because he was who I was going to pick a couple weeks ago. But that makes me nervous, so I'm not going to pick Colin Morikawa. Who's everybody else got? Text us in 225-9698. Who is your picks to win the U.S. Open starting tomorrow? LA Country Club. There is nothing better than the West Coast Major.
Because
you get to watch. You get to watch golf till like 9 o'clock at night.
That's right. That's exactly where I was going.
Here.
Yep.
Hey, you think, man, what's going on? They're teeing off at 4. Oh yeah,
for
it's
the
just
first
2 o'clock
time in like 3 months, I got nothing going on a Saturday, Sunday.
Perfection. Pleased to be joined now by the head of the Officials versus Cancer. Got the golf tournament coming up on Friday. It is Mr. Leland Searcy. Leland, how are you this morning?
I'm great. Skinny. How's everything up, City?
Man, it's green and wet and not like the Junes of the past couple of years, that's for sure.
Been a great 2 months, hasn't it?
Yeah, we were talking earlier. I cannot remember this many days in a row in western Oklahoma where the wind has not even really been a factor whatsoever. It's got to be like a month straight of days where the wind was negligible to maybe 10 mile an hour, possibly 15 gusts. It's been incredible.
Absolutely, it's been. We'll take it, right? I mean, we don't ever forget the spring of 2022 where the wind blew every day for 50 days. So Mother Nature's giving us a little help, giving us a little payback, giving us a little reprieve from the wind, and boy, the moisture's been wonderful. I'm actually on number 6 fairway at Boiling Springs Golf Course this morning, and I pulled over here to the side to talk to you guys.
Yeah, par 5. That's an awesome hole.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
I've heard that place is incredible, in great shape right now.
It is. It's probably the best I've ever. I've said this for the last 3 years. This golf course is the best I've ever seen it in 30 years. I've been a member here. I said it 2 years ago. I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again this year. And Mother Nature helps, right?
No doubt. And I know when the state tournament was there a couple springs ago, it took out like 50 to 100,000 trees, opened it up a little bit, and you see a whole bunch of different sand dunes that you didn't even know were there.
Right. Yeah. You're seeing things now that you was like, wow, I didn't know this exists. But
when I play there, I find those sand dunes. Don't worry about it, Skinny.
Yeah, we know they're there now, right? So, he's Coach. Listen, Jeff Wagner has made it conducive for the 20 handicapper, the 15, and all the way down. You can go find your ball in the landing area. Even if you hit it 30 yards in the rough, you can actually find your ball on 8 out of 10 of the holes. So it's really nice. It's been a blessing to Woodward, and it's been amazing to be a member here and see this place be what we knew it could be.
Absolutely. All right, we got the golf tournament coming up at John Conrad on Friday. Tell, for those folks that don't understand what you guys are doing, give us a little background and what the Officials versus Cancer is.
Officials versus Cancer raises money for pediatric cancer research, and all of our money is earmarked for research, and every dollar stays in our state. It is 100% for research, and our goal is we're going to find a cure for every common type of pediatric cancer. This is something that I've never talked about on your show, and thanks for having me, by the way. And it's amazing to come on here and share my foundation, the reason what we're doing. So one of many reasons we do this is statistics show in the last 20 years for every 285 kids born in Oklahoma before their 18th birthday, one out of every 285 kids will be diagnosed with leukemia or cancer, and that's a pretty high rate for our state. And we just want to treat that. We want to find a cure for it all. We want to make sure every kid is going to live a full life. And if we do that, we'll be successful when 100% of those kids are cured to walk in that place. And we're at about 80% right now.
Yeah, and that's up from what when you guys started this?
Well, actually not when we started, but in 2015, I went back to they only update their records, every 2 or 3 years on the, but it was 56%. It was 56% of the kids are cured in 2015. So that's 2 years before we started this foundation. But we're at a little over 80% now, and goodness, they're making headway. And you would never think about a cancer center. They only have so many dollars earmarked for research, and so that's the reason we are marked ours for research. Is we wanted to make sure we're moving that number up all the time. And in about 6 years, we've seen it grow 30%. So we're gonna go until we see 100%, and then we'll restructure.
I'm sure this is one of your biggest fundraisers of the year, and it feels like every time we talk to you about this golf tournament that you host, it gets bigger and bigger. So what's the response been like? Are you full? Do you need some more teams? What's it been like? So,
we started this 3 years ago. This is our fourth golf tournament. We've had 2 at Cimarron Trails in Perkins. We've had 1 at the Golf Club of Edmond, and this will be our 4th, and it's at John Conrad. This is our major fundraiser. This is where we get the most dollars raised for our foundation, and we are. You've watched The Voice, and you hear Blake Shelton say, "My team is full."
Yeah,
our tournament is full.
Outstanding,
so,
great.
It's amazing.
John Conrad, I think this is a cool venue for it because, for those that don't know, it's underwent some renovations, hasn't been back open for very long. I think this is fantastic to get it kind of centrally located and on a course that just kind of got back open and has to be in great shape, I would guess.
I went down there last Thursday, and I met a guy from Channel 9 there, Mike Glover, and he did a piece on our tournament, and we took a cart and we toured the golf course, just a quick mini tour, quick front 9, quick back 9, oversee the holes. They've done an amazing job there renovating that, and they spent a lot of money there, and I think it's the perfect venue. It's centrally located, like you said, and everybody, and we've never filled this tournament up, so that tells me having it in the Oklahoma City area, where your population is the most, is the best place. So we'll keep it in the city area as long as we keep filling the tournament up. That's the name of the game. So.
All right. So outside of the tournament, I have kind of a hot button issue, and I know that your basketball officiating days are over, and the football. This is your last year, I think, for football.
Yeah.
What do you think about the changes to the free throw rules that are going to be instituted this year for basketball, where each quarter you have a 5-foul limit, and then it's 2 shots after that? How do you think that's going to change the way the game flows and the way the game is played?
Well, I tell you, I've thought about this a lot since that come out about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. I got an email because I'm still the coordinator of officials for this part of the state. So I got an email, and it was a unanimous decision they go to this. And their thought process, I think, and I don't know this, their thought process is it'll cut down on free throws. But I think I've got mixed emotions about this, Kenny. I'm not going to lie. And, Jared, I'm going to tell you that the teams that are loaded, 8, 9 deep, the ceiling girls, for instance, and Coach Hamer does a wonderful job there. Does this benefit a team like his? He can just keep firing at you, and they're going to shoot free throws, but I've got mixed feelings about it, Jared. Jared, what do you think about it? Tell me what your thoughts are.
I'm going to be real honest. This is the first I've heard about it.
Oh, really?
Can you explain this to me?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like the NBA rule. Every quarter, the limit is 5 fouls. Once you commit the 5th foul, it's automatic 2 shots.
Sure.
There's no 1-on-ones.
Double
1-on-ones
bonus.
it's a double bonus immediately every quarter. So you have a 5 foul
So the
limit.
1-on-1 is all gone. 1-on-1 is completely
Yep.
gone from the game.
Yes.
Wow, I just got dizzy. Wow. Okay.
I'm afraid.
So does this?
I'm afraid
does
the
this
games
thought
get
process say
longer.
Is this thought process from the NFHS? Is that we're going to teach kids to not foul as much, or what's their? I don't know what their thought process was here doing this. Now, the women's college game is like this, I believe.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So obviously they've looked at the women's game at the college level, and they're getting good reviews, right? Or they wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, the things I saw were protecting from injury, which blocking out on 1-on-ones, have to do it twice instead of once. And then speeding up the game was another thing that I read from the NFHS. I'm not so sure the speeding up the game actually happens.
I'm not so sure it does either. Now, I will tell you this: they're all about speeding the game up. And if you can give them an idea and it'll speed the game up 15 minutes, they're going to be on it and they'll research it. But I'm like you; I don't know if this is going to speed the game up. I mean, tell me this: if we're shooting a 1-on-1 and they miss,
that's
the
exactly.
game picks up faster. If you shoot the first one they make, does it slow it down? Yeah, I think it does. So I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for here, but we'll see. We will see. So
I can't
They're making
wait.
changes. They're making changes. They're making changes in foot. There's a change in the football mechanics. We just got out of a meeting last Friday in Oklahoma City, and the football mechanic has changed for the umpire. He is now, it's not mandatory this year, but this is going to be mandatory in 2024. Put your umpire beside the referee, just like the NFL does. No umpire in the backfield, and the defensive backfield.
Uh-huh.
And the umpire, he's responsible for the left side of the line. The referee's responsible for the right side of the line, and the quarterback. So that'll be interesting to see how many crews actually go to that this year, and how many wait till they have to go to that. So it'll be interesting to see.
What are your thoughts as far as your crew? What's the benefits or the negatives to having that umpire right beside you, looking from the same angle?
So I went to a clinic last Friday evening from 4:30 to 9:30, and we had 2 NFL officials there from Oklahoma, Jared Phillips and Clay Martin. Clay's a white hat. He's the basketball coach from Jinx that everybody sees on TV. Done a wonderful job of presenting the information. The NFL has had their umpire back there for multiple years, and he gave us every look from every angle. If you can imagine the game being viewed those NFL officials get 7 different angles of the game. So you can imagine 7 different camera angles. And they're convinced, and they convinced me, a 30-year football official, they convinced me that this is a good move, and I really like it. They sold me on it. So the umpire is not going to get rolled up.
Yeah.
There's been, in Oklahoma alone, there's been 15 career-ending leg injuries to umpires in the last 10 years. So that in itself tells me the game is faster. The kids are stronger. We all know that. So let's get out of their way and let them go. And so the umpire moves back here with me in the backfield. We're not. And another thing is, the tight end's not going to be. He's not going to be able to run a pick off the umpire right behind the defense. So I think it's a good thing. I really do. I think it's a good thing. So I'm anxious to put it to work. I'll just say that. And we start. We're going to work a scrimmage in Enid, and then we start. Our game 1 is Kingfisher and Clinton, week 0. So I'm anxious to get this on the field in our preseason and play with it and just work the kinks out. But yeah, we're going to catch some negative vibes from some of the coaches. Some of the coaches are going to accept it. If I was the coach, I'd be like, "Hey, he's out of our way. Let's go."
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a great point about using the as a pick, because you see that all the time, trying to run the defender into the umpire, and it's
Right.
not really all that safe for the guy that's
What
sitting there trying to
game-
officiate the game anyway.
What
Hey,
game
we
was
saw
it?
one that it was actually the back judge though, where they ran a post pattern and it hit him in the head.
really?
Was it the playoff game? Was it
The
Newcastle?
football hit him in the head.
Yeah, the football hit him in the head. As he was trying to get back. Yeah, they were trying to literally use him.
Yeah.
I think it might have been that Newcastle game in the playoffs where that happened. But anyhow,
So I'm just going to say one thing about my back judge. My back judge is going to stay. They recommend you to be 18 to 23.
Mhm.
The games we referee seems like we have a lot of deep balls thrown. We have 8 to 10 a ball game going back on the last 5 years. We have 8 to 10 deep balls over the middle thrown a game. So I back my back judge up 5, 6, 7 more steps, 24 to 26 yards, and he's never going to get a ball hit off the top of his head.
right, yeah.
He's going to be clear of all the action, and that's we should be clear of all the action. We don't want to be a part of it. So if we infringe on one play, then it's taken away from the offense, and that's the last thing we want to do as a football crew.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think this is a great move, just to get 2 on the sidelines, 2 behind the offense, 1 clear back behind the defense, and let the 22 in the middle go play as well as they possibly can. All right, Leland, the golf tournament's full, but how else, if people can't get to John Conrad on Friday, how can people get a part of the Officials versus Cancer and donate some money for the pediatric cancer research?
First of all, the easiest way to donate, and this is what we do. I don't know if I've ever said this on your station. We don't ask for $100, $200, $300. We ask for, if we could get 1,000 people to give $20, 1,000 people to give $20 apiece. That's our goal. We want 1,000 donations of $20. So if you want to send your $20 donation in through Venmo, write this down. When you go on to Venmo, it's going to ask you what you want to donate, $20. What access code is it? It's OK Officials VS Cancer. That's the access code to our account. If you do that, you put $20 in there, you're going to make a difference. We're making the difference. Now, I'm not going to take full credit from the 50 to 80%. Everybody that helps should take a little bit of credit for this. So we're going to donate $20, get people to donate $20 a year, and if we could get 1,000 people to donate $20, I mean, do the math, right? Mm-hmm. And this is even what's better. I don't know if I've even said this to you. We have a matching donor. I was on the Sports Animal with Mark Rogers 2 years ago, and at 11:30, and I was on the Sports Animal with Jim Traber at 2:30. And Jim's our spokesperson. He's cut some videos for us, and he's at some of our events. We talked about what we're doing, and a guy heard us on the radio talking. He called the Children's Hospital the next morning, set up an appointment and went down there and said everything they do for the next 5 years, I'm going to match. He's nobody knows who he is, but he called and he went down there and he made a deal. He signed a contract and said if we raise $10,000, he'll donate $10,000 to match it. So, gosh, if you donate $20, that's $40.
Absolutely.
So do the math there, right?
Absolutely. So, OK Officials vs. Cancer on Venmo. On Venmo. $20 donation. And like you said, it's essentially $40 because of the match
donor.
that's there. That's fantastic,
Yeah.
man.
And we have that match. We have that matching donor for this year and 2 more years.
And
He
2
signed
more.
a 5-year contract. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Man, that's
I
great
try to
stuff.
blow this thing out of the water and get that number to 100%. And we adopted a new slogan for next year, and we'll have T-shirts made up for it in the coming year, because our fiscal year runs from July 1 to June 30 every year, and the name of that logo is Second Chance Kids.
Oh,
So
very
we're
good.
giving all these kids a second chance at life.
That's very good.
So-
That's awesome stuff, man. Glad the golf tournament is full. Hate that we can't be there because I was looking forward to playing with Jeremy, but it just didn't work out this time. We'll do
Do you
it.
need a house? Do you really need a house that bad?
Well, I don't know if I do, but I'm afraid my wife would say yes.
She's going to trump you.
Yeah, I think I could make it all right without it, but I'm not so sure of her. And of course, Wyatt. I mean, good grief. He's so soft. He needs a roof over his head too. So it's just one of those things. I hate it came up when it did, but we'll make it next year.
I'm not buying any of that.
All right, man. Leland, thanks so much. Congrats on the success of the golf tournament. It's going to be a great day on Friday for Cancer Research for Children.
Hey, I appreciate all you guys, Jared and Skinny, you guys for having me on. Let me talk about this. It's very important that we get something done on this, and we're moving in the right direction. And I just appreciate you guys letting me come on your platform and talk about it. And every dollar makes a difference.
Absolutely. Anytime, and can't wait to see you a couple times during the football season out there with the Elk City games that you guys are going to have.
You bet. You guys have a good summer, and we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you, Leland.
Bye.
It's Leland Searcy, Officials versus Cancer. Man, what a great thing. I'm so glad
Absolutely.
that tournament got full. And
Yeah.
it's just going to continue to build and build. It's really, really good stuff.
I'm going to put that donate info on our Facebook page. It's real easy. Again, if you have Venmo, it's the easiest way to swap money around at OK Officials versus Cancer. We'll put all that on our Facebook page if someone wants to donate.
Absolutely. We'll have it set up there. SEC schedule release coming up at 6 o'clock tonight on the SEC Network. I mentioned earlier Peter Burns, SEC Network, ESPN guy. You hear him right here on these airwaves on Sunday, discussing the schedule release that all the 14 current members of the SEC will play either OU or Texas in the first year of 2024. That's not necessarily surprising news, but it just there's not going to be anybody that misses one of those two teams from the current SEC. So having said that. And I'm cheating just a little bit because Chip Brown is pretty plugged in down in Austin. He tweeted out just a few minutes ago that his sources are saying that the first SEC game for the Longhorns of Texas will be at home against Georgia.
Are they going to do this like the NFL? Like you're going to slowly start seeing leaks of big games, teasing it. They do that throughout the day, which is brilliant. I mean, follow the NFL model. It's been really, really good. Well, if that's true, it totally trumps what I had written down. That's possible first opponents for teams, or for Texas anyways. So what do you got?
Actually, it doesn't say the first.
says-
Texas is coming to Georgia.
It just
Georgia's
says
going to
that
Texas.
would be a game, but not the first game. Okay.
Yes.
So that's okay. That makes more sense because I don't think the first game would be as big.
Okay,
I think
so
any SEC team coming to Norman or Austin is going to be a big deal as a first official SEC game.
well, think about. Do you remember who went to A&M?
Yeah, it was Florida.
Florida.
Yeah,
Big time. I mean, that's a
yeah.
big
They were
time.
in Florida was good. They were pretty good then. It was right after Tebow, I think.
Yeah, like 2012.
It was something right after Tebow year. The Tebow,
2011 or 2011, I think.
yeah. And Florida beat him.
Florida did beat them.
Well, A&M loses to a lot of people, so that's not saying much.
Okay,
but
so who do you think will be the first SEC opponent for Oklahoma?
okay.
Who and where?
This is my thought process through this was they had to cancel the Georgia non-conference series because OU's obviously going to the SEC. So my conventional wisdom, like, okay, they'll just put Georgia there. Like, whoa, we'll pump the brakes. Georgia may come to Norman or Austin, but not the first game. I think the SEC will give OU and Texas a warm welcome and give them layups for their first SEC game, and it will be in their home stadium. So I think it'll be. I mean, I'm grasping at straws, but when I say layup, I think it'll be somebody like Mississippi State coming to Norman, and I think it'll be like Vanderbilt going to Texas.
Gosh, I don't.
I don't want it to be that, but I think they're going to make a big, SEC reveal on the field logo and make it a big deal. Here's the first SEC game, and then it'll be big wins. Like, look, those two teams belong here. They win big.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, well, you gave them Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. So I think it'll be somebody like that. But you think it'll be more formidable opponents?
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you got?
I think the first Texas game is going to be Arkansas.
Okay. Old Southwest Conference rival, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. And I think the first Sooner game is going to be Florida. And here's why. I think they'll both host. Because I think those are going – I don't think the 8-game schedule lasts. I think it goes to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those are going to be permanent rivals for both schools. I think UT is going to get Arkansas, OU, and A&M. And I think OU is going to get Texas, Florida, and Missouri as their you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they want I think the idea would be to get those rivalries kick-started, as fast as possible. So that's what I think it'll be. I think Texas will host Arkansas, and I think OU will host Florida. Now, looking down the schedule after that, I think Texas, we're seeing that Texas is probably going to get Georgia. I think that means Oklahoma gets Alabama. I think a lot of people hope OU gets Arkansas. I don't think they're going to.
Not the first year.
Not the first year. I think it's the Texas-Arkansas rivalry is a bigger deal. I also don't think OU's going to get A&M because I think Texas is going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're probably looking at like Florida, Bama, Mizzou, one of the Mississippis, Tennessee or South Carolina. Probably Tennessee. I think that's kind of when you start looking at the Texas is there, obviously. But for me, I think that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to get Florida at OU,
Okay.
and I think you get Arkansas at Texas for the very first SEC game. Here's a question for you as an OU fan. What are the top 3 places that you want to go to see Oklahoma play?
Top 3 for me would be in any order. Do I have to give you
Top
that
3?
Number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1, Oxford, right?
That's
The Grove. Yeah.
1,000,000%
Right.
the right answer.
That's an easy one. Number 2, Baton Rouge at night.
Ooh, you went there.
Yeah, I want to go there.
You went there.
I want to go to Death Valley. Yeah. And number 3, it's a little odd one, but I've never. Maybe I can make a vacation out of it, but South Carolina.
See, I wrote down South Carolina.
How far are they from Myrtle Beach?
And scratched it out. Another the game.
A lot of good golf over there.
The game wouldn't be interesting, more than likely, or you hope to. I hope it wouldn't, but as an OU fan. But one of the places I want to go more than any other in this country is Nashville.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Vanderbilt, right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I can see that.
I went Ole Miss 1. I went Tennessee 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had South Carolina, I had Vandy, and I scratched it out and said, you know what the heck, let's go to Bama.
Yeah, I went with schools that OU hasn't been to since 2000. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
like
that
they've
does.
been to Tennessee, they've been to Alabama.
Yeah, different trips. But I didn't
Yeah.
make any of those, so I don't care.
Maybe the swamp, maybe between the hedges in Georgia. I mean, there's
See-
a lot. This is why the SEC is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be fun. Every road game, you're going to go, whoa, that's cool. I want to be there.
I mean, outside of Missouri.
Even Vanderbilt, right?
And Missouri was pretty
Missouri
cool.
was cool. I mean, that's a
I've been
Columbia's
to a game
cool,
at Missouri.
Cool area up there. But it's like, it's just, now I remember. That's how it was. They were in the Big 12. Like this, we're talking like brand new, never been to. We've always seen it on CBS in the afternoon. SEC country. Where do we want to go? There's a lot to answer. There's a lot you can plug in there.
I mean,
Even with the bad schools, there's a lot to plug in there.
the Grove is the obvious answer. And honestly, number 2 is LSU. Or maybe those are the top 2 in whatever order you want to go. As long as you can stomach what's
yeah.
LSU is all about. Like maybe not wear your OU shirt, but be there. It might be a good idea. Because anybody that I know that went to New Orleans in 2003 absolutely will not step foot in Baton Rouge or claim they won't. But I think it's also something that you have to experience.
Yeah.
Well, the real number 1 answer is the Cotton Bowl. But that doesn't really pertain to the question.
Yeah.
It's road trips.
No love for College Station. And
Not
to see
really.
their band and their cult.
I mean, this may be an unpopular
Maybe go
opinion.
on a Friday night with their yell practice and laugh at them.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but that is to me the worst thing about joining the SEC.
It's getting A&M
Getting back with A&M. Gah. Sorry, Wes. I hope Bethany isn't mad at me over this. But gah, the Milkmen are back.
I can't wait.
The Milkmen and the fake
for-
swords.
For the midnight yell practices and how those went viral on more than one occasion last year.
Just how silly
How
it was.
cringy it was, man. Yeah.
I mean, what's worse? Midnight yell with the Milkmen or grown dudes with a pig on their head with Arkansas.
oh, it's the Milkman.
It's got to be.
Leaps and bounds.
Milkmen and fake swords abound.
I think I laugh at A&M. I said it. I laugh at A&M and their quote-unquote traditions. I think Woo Pig Suey's cool. I think that would be fun to hear in a stadium. Right?
Yeah, Northwest Arkansas is a nice place
It is.
in the country.
There is. It is.
Very nice place. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. We'll talk about it tomorrow. U.S. Open will start tomorrow. Good stuff. Thank you to Leland. Once again,
Yeah.
on our Facebook page, we got that Venmo
We'll get that info out there, yes.
for the officials versus cancer. It's really cool that they got that golf tournament filled. I know it's something
That's
we've been
great.
trying to do for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Got it done this year. Everybody have a great Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. It's been the Skinny on Sports right here on the Sports Animal.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered